Good news this week, September 20, 2025 Forest, Bees, Green Roofs. The best positive news was celebrating this week a new nature preserve in Ohio will protect 3,000 acres of Appalachian foothills in one of the largest private land protection initiatives in state history. Nearly 3,000 acres of forest in the foothills of Appalachian, Ohio, and the wildlife that call it home will be protected and open to the public. The family that has owned the land for the last century donated it to a local land bank, which will manage it as a nature preserve, protecting wildlife and adding trail markings and parking to make it more accessible and safe for the public. And with a conservation easement on the land, the Nature Conservancy will ensure the property is protected long term. Why is this good news? In Ohio specifically, public lands are limited compared to the rest of the country, with only about 4.2 public lands. Nature preserves, especially large ones like this, not only protect critical species and ecosystems, but they keep public lands and nature available and accessible to the public, bringing its own wide range of benefits. A retired teacher sheltered 18 students fleeing the Colorado school shooting in his home last week. A 16-year-old male student opened fire at Evergreen High School in Evergreen, Colorado, a mountain town near Denver, shooting and injuring 2 students and himself. Don Sidon lies about 300 yards from the school and was finishing up lunch when he heard pounding at his door. About 7 young men told him what was happening and asked if he'd let them in. As a retired teacher who taught public school for 25 years, Sidon quickly welcomed them in along with a second group that followed. His wife, a retired nurse, was also able to help calm the students down, treat them for shock, and comfort them. Africa has provided school meals to 20 million more children in the past 2 years, demonstrating both a shift away from dependence on foreign aid and toward a stronger commitment to education. A new report found that governments in sub-Saharan Africa have provided school meals to approximately 20 million more children over the past 2 years. The largest rise in school feeding of any region in the world. 8 million children total received school meals in 2020. Countries like Ethiopia, Rwanda, Madagascar, and Chad all fed 6 times as many children. The report also found that local farmers were benefiting from the additional school meals. In Benin, the government's purchase of local food contributed over 20 million to the economy last year, and more than 1/3 of Sierra Leone's school meals came from food from smallholder farmers. Why is this good news? The entire African continent has been seeing rising numbers of hungry people due to climate change-related extreme weather, armed conflict, and food inflation. A recent report found that 1 in 5 Africans was chronically malnourished, news that comes amidst wealthy countries like the US cutting foreign aid. When kids are hungry, it's harder for them to learn. All kids deserve to eat at school. New beekeeping program helped prison inmates heal through nature, already producing honey. Child poverty has declined globally, with nearly 100 million fewer children living in poverty in the last 10 years. For the past 10 years, child poverty has been steadily declining. In 2020, globally, an estimated 412 million children under the age of 7 lived in extreme poverty, down from an estimated 15 million children in 2014. Some of the most significant reductions in child poverty have occurred in South Asia and East Asia and the Pacific. In South Asia, extreme poverty declined by more than half in the last decade, and India saw the largest reduction of children living in extreme poverty. While that's important progress, areas like sub-Saharan Africa have seen child poverty rates remain about the same over the course of the decades, and other regions have seen child poverty increase due in part to war and conflict. Progress is possible, and we must continue to work to see fewer children living in poverty. New York City is turning millions of pounds of food waste into black gold to improve the city's soil health. In many US cities, waste items like watermelon rinds, greasy pizza boxes, and yard trimmings are bound for the landfill. In New York, they become black gold, a rich compost used throughout the city to improve soil health. The Staten Island compost facility has long processed landscape waste, but it now also takes in residential organic waste, an average 100 to 150 tons of organic material every single day. The end product is sold to some landscapers, but the rest is distributed free of charge to residents, schools, and community gardens. The city said it's given out nearly £6 million to residents so far this year. Why is this good news? Food scraps and yard waste make up the most volume in household trash, and when they enter a landfill, they generate methane, a greenhouse gas even more potent than carbon dioxide. When these waste items are composted, not only are those emissions prevented, they help improve soil health, manage stormwater, and keep city green species thriving. Plus, composting can be daunting for the average individual to manage, so a citywide service allows people interested to benefit. Boston is the first US city to plant green roofs on bus stops, and it's already inspiring other cities to do the same. The Global Fund Partnership has saved 70 million lives since 2002. A new report found that the Global Fund Partnership has saved 70 million lives since 2002, reducing the combined death rate from AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria by significantly. Last year alone, 25.6 million people were on antiretroviral therapy for HIV, up from 17.5 million in 2017. The Global Fund also joined PEPFAR in committing to reaching 2 million people with the groundbreaking twice yearly, long-acting injectable drug lenacapavir that showed up to 1% success rates in preventing new HIV infections. In 2017, 7.4 million people were treated for TB, with the Global Fund investing over 1.2 million between 2021 and 2024 in AI-powered